Can McCaffrey do it again? It's the coach. This is the 2019 season on EA Sports. Coming up, dual threat Christian McCaffrey. Fresh off a big game a week ago, as it'll be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Carolina Panthers. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is in uptown Charlotte, North Carolina at Bank of America Stadium. Just a moment ago, the lights, the cameras, the action, all the pyrotechnics, everything was ablaze, everything was allowed here in Bank of America Stadium as Carolina emerged from their tunnel. And we are ready to go as the Panthers get set to match up with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Two one-loss teams set to lace it up. This ought to be fun, and we're underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And he's got daylight. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. From end zone to end zone, it's a 106-yard return as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And that right there is how you silence the home crowd.
All week long in preparation, visiting teams talk about it. Okay, we've got to start fast. We've got to take the crowd out of it, as you just talked about there. We've got to control the ball early. And in this case, forget fast start. This is a blazing start. What they've talked about all week is their offensive unit doing that. Not necessarily the guys returning the opening kickoff, but believe me, they'll take this.
Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. This is taken at his 4. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Cam Newton ready to lead this Carolina Panthers offense. And week 1 after the game, Charles, he admitted, hey, I was a little rusty, but remember, he only played 3 series in the preseason.
Yeah, 25 of 38, 239, an interception by Aqib Talib against him. Ran the ball only 3 times for -2 yards. Didn't look like the normal Cam Newton. I think he'll round into form, but they will have to think about sending some deeper routes against opponents coming up because they've got to loosen up the line of scrimmage to get the run game going and give Cam a little bit more space.
A first down run not going to get him a whole lot. Maybe a yard. Yeah, it looks like just 1 yard there, so that'll bring up 2nd and 9. And the offensive starters for the Panthers.
And what a workhorse is Christian McCaffrey, the running back for the Carolina Panthers, who led his team in rushing and receiving yardage in 2018 and was also the team's leading scorer. How about this? Set an NFL record for catches for a running back with 107. So for an encore, he just wants to get his team back to the playoffs in 2019.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They've been pretty solid against the pass, toward the middle of the pack, number 14 in the NFL.
And, hey, they were stingy in the opener. Didn't allow much of anything at all through the air. So now they come into week 2 saying, hey, let's see if we can do even better. Let's go ahead and get to that number 1 spot.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
And it's taken in at the 9. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, Give him 15, and the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. Jameis Winston leading out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Week 1 did not go as Tampa Bay or Jameis had envisioned. That loss to San Francisco, Charles. Jameis Winston, he threw 3 interceptions.
And what does brand-new Tampa coach Bruce Arians like to say about his quarterbacks when they're throwing the ball?
Something about a biscuit?
Yeah, no risk it, no biscuit, right?
No risk it, no biscuit.
But with Jameis Winston, they're trying to get him to eliminate the risk and just give the biscuit. In this game, that didn't happen. 2 pick sixes thrown in the opener. Although, to be fair, 2 touchdown passes to tight end Cameron Brate were called back due to penalty.
And a peek now at the offense for Tampa Bay.
Peyton Barber had his best year running the football in 2018, and he was 9th in the league last year in rushing attempts. The only issue, yards per carry. Total yards under 900. New head coach Bruce Arians, he believes he can improve his efficiency.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day.
Here's Winston. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. They're trying to cover up some holes in the secondary. Right now, bottom 5 in the league against the pass at number 28.
And, hey, they were stingy in the opener. Didn't allow much of anything at all through the air. So now they come into Week 2 saying, hey, let's see if we can do even better. Let's go ahead and get to that number 1 spot.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Play action now. Winston. Airing this one out for Evans. That's caught at the 25. And they do finally get him, but he takes it to the 25.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. He is tough to bring down, Jameis Winston. Charles, I remember calling a baseball game of his. He played baseball at Florida State, too, and you saw his legs, tree trunks, sprayed in to those baseball pants. I said, how could anybody bring this guy down?
And that's part of the beauty of his game because he has that toughness, that thick body. He may not beat you sprinting, but he's real sharp with his mind, and he knows how to get away from people.
And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A great play there. His first touchdown of the new season as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll get it up just past the 20, and his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. Panthers trot back onto the field here, and they do so at 0-1 after that loss to the Rams. Now, look, the Panthers were at home. You knew it would be tough, though. They're playing the Rams, defending conference champions. Now you look ahead to Week 2, Charles, and they're going to play Tampa Bay. So that's an early division matchup that could have a lot of importance later in the season. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Carl Nassib able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. 39 yards the distance covered on the catch and run. We know he's good at catching the football, but then after the catch, he's got escapability.
Not only that, he's got some toughness as well because you know he's coached very hard to make sure he battles through, breaks tackles, and then they finish with, but don't fumble the football.
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. On second down, McCaffrey. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up third down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys and continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Those really long field goals, when they are made, they are things of beauty. But there is a danger to getting them started, isn't there?
Yeah, with that low drive, you've got to really keep it low to the ground, don't you, to get that distance.
Yeah, hard to just pop it up in the air because otherwise it's not going to get there. So he's got to drop.
That's caught inside the 20. And it's a big play there as he is finally taken down on what will be a terrific final act of this first quarter. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. To throw is Winston. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Once you get into the red zone and the safeties have less ground to cover, you better be quick with your delivery. Not much space to get a ball in there.
Yeah, when that field shrinks with those safeties, it's almost like there's a couple extra defenders out there, right?
It certainly is. They end up taking up extra space just because there's not enough space for receivers to run through.
It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. This will be caught at about the 5. And he will not be able to get the first as he can get this only down to the 5.
And a lot of people ask the same question all the time. Why do we see so many slants in the red zone? Well, the windows are tighter. Everything's more condensed. It has to be quicker, and you've got to deliver the ball on time. Your biggest worry, ball gets tipped in the air. Because if that happens, then it's fair game for the defense.
A good drive gets him inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that was the old bend but don't break approach. Made sure they contained them when they absolutely had to and forced the field goal attempt that went through.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
Well, no, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. And this is a guy straight out of college. They're not going to try to groom for a year or two. They want him to produce right away.
That's why they took him in the first round. They expect him to be a starter right away and a future all-pro. So they don't have any time to wait for him to come along. They want him to play right now to help this team.
And you take a look at this draft. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And it's picked up by the Buccaneers. There he goes left side. And he returns it to the end zone. A fumble recovery touchdown for the Bucs. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. Here's Gay now to add the extra point. Oh, and it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Short kick. One of the up middle take it down. And they're going to have really good starting field position here as that's taken up close to the 40. This Carolina offense at the line, ready to go.
Ain't no such thing as a loss. We taking wins home.
Following the fumble recovery, Newton. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Nice job there defensively. A great time to dial up a blitz.
And give him credit under center instead of throwing it away. Actually, a pretty good job of getting past the line of scrimmage, not losing yardage. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Levante David, the Bucs' leading tackler, 6 of the last 7 years in there to make the stop. Throwing on third down, Newton. Sliding out of the pocket. He may try and run for this. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first.
Even at the age of 30, Cam says it's just a number. Still a real threat running the football. We all know about the touchdowns, but ran for 488 yards last season. That was 4th among all NFL quarterbacks. He can still tote the mail.
The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Newton throwing complete to Samuel and brought down but able to get it to their 30-yard line. 12 yards there and a first down. Now a first down throw for Newton. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Newton now to throw. And he's got the hook up to Moore.
DJ Moore went through some ups and downs his rookie season, but really came on strong late in the year. Finished with 55 catches, the most among Panthers.
And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. Curtis Samuel, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as they are now on the board here in the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. And a lot of football, full half to be played. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. You've got under a minute to go here until halftime. You got the good-sized lead. No need to do anything crazy.
No, there really is no need to do anything crazy. The smart play, go ahead and take your lead into the locker room and then try to add to it in the second half. But there's a part of me that looked...
And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin, his 2nd touchdown on the season as the Buccaneers tack on to their lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a 2nd one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdowns scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. And we can break that scoring drive down pretty easily. One play, long touchdown pass into the end zone. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Christian McCaffrey and the Panthers about set to go on offense. He's just been looking for some space. I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. Cam fakes the give and keeps it. He's got the lane, and there he goes. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. And caught left side, Olsen. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a moment. But first, the NFL season is in full swing. Let's show the good folks what we've got in store for us later this weekend here in Week 2. Plenty to look forward to in that early window, one being a noontime start up in Green Bay. A big one for the Packers as they'll get set to tangle with the Minnesota Vikings. Excellent games in the late afternoon window as well, one being out in Los Angeles, where it'll be the Rams taking on the New Orleans Saints. And finally, on Sunday Night Football, a good one down south. A couple of recent Super Bowl teams from the NFC. Philadelphia heading down to take on Atlanta. In our game has been Jameis Winston, who's been on target in the first half. His guys have just about put this one on ice already. As for the call of the second half, we turn things back over to Brandon Gaudin.
The Bucs with a lead, and they'll get the football first as the second half is underway. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to mix.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. William Golston able to collapse the pocket, get to him, and drop him for a loss of a yard. The sack cost him only a yard. It's 2nd and 11. The throw left side complete to Hogan. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Newton. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. So here are the Bucs to take over on offense. Last week, they got the victory against the San Francisco 49ers. They've got the lead in this one as well right now. Jameis to throw it. He's going to fire one deep. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. Past the 20. 10. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans. An 80-yard touchdown as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
Gay is on for the point after. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Let's go.
And the Panthers coming out now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. From the 36, Newton. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's third down. So the incomplete pass on the last play, and that leads us to a 3rd and 3. Here's Newton. And that is incomplete.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And we shift to spotlighting Mike Evans. And now he's inching closer to a 200-yard game. He's been so solid.
And he's really denting the pride of the guys playing defense, too, because there's certain barriers that you just don't want to give up. You never want to give up a 100-yard rusher, a 100-yard receiver. He's closing in on 200 yards. Wow, that's a really big game.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. First down, Winston. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Well, Charles, as we peek back to week 1, what would you say were the positives for some teams or individuals that you took away?
Well, it started on opening night, Green Bay, and their defense. Not necessarily Aaron Rodgers and what they did going into Chicago and winning. Kansas City, they picked right up where they left off with Patrick Mahomes. Explosive on off.
Rashad Perriman off to the races. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now in the ball game for Jameis Winston as his guys continue to pour it on.
Partner, you know what the real key is to stopping a good passing attack?
You tell me.
Being able to tackle as soon as a guy catches the football.
Didn't work out there.
No, because when you give up the big run after catch, the rack yardage, that puts your defense in a big-time stressful position.
A lot of rack yardage and a touchdown there on the big play. Oh, boy, rubbing a little salt in the wound there, going for 2 up this big.
You know, there's one time when I played, Brandon, and played against a team that was just absolutely pile driving us, and they ended up going for 2 late in the game. And I asked one of the guys, why'd you do that? He said, because we wanted to win by more. That feels like that type of situation.
Wow. Well, it could also result in a melee later, though. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well, and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Credit the sack to Vita Vea.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Oh, he takes it in, doesn't let it bounce. He takes it at the 2. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Mike Evans and the rest of the offensive unit heading back out there now. A monster game so far, third quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games, you hear about the quarterback, or we talk about the quarterback throwing guys open, putting it in the right spot. How about some credit for the receivers, though, who find ways to get open, whether they uncover late in a route or they get open early, but they just always find a way. And he's having that type of a game.
Yeah, he's been nearly impossible to cover. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. He's going to fire one deep. They got his man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 36 yards on the play. Here's Winston. He's going to fire one deep. This is caught inside the 15. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. And now he'll tuck it and run. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
Some good, strong running right there. Some power and some explosiveness. Just about got him into the end zone.
You can't block me.
They'll run with Barber. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Peyton Barber. His first touchdown of the new season as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And nothing special there. They show they were going to run the football. They ran it. They got it in.
Like old-time football, right? Hey, this is exactly what we're going to do. Straight-ahead power, and they got it done.
And they are just not going to let up as he is into the end zone here for 2 more. And is there bad blood here? I mean, go for 2 when you're up that much?
If there wasn't before, there is now. When you do that, you've just announced to everyone, you just don't care about the other side at all. All you care about is what you're doing, and they just want to pile up points.
They did. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. Getting set to go again here, Cam Newton marches back onto the field. And the stats on the screen tell the story. A great start. This defense, they've made some good adjustments, so he's fallen off since.
Have to like what they did at the half, but you also have to like the fact that they hung in there. Despite the fact that a tough first half, he was locked in, right? Rocking and rolling. They came out, made their adjustments, got their confidence back. Now they're causing them all sorts of trouble.
A good pickup there, 26 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Newton going to hand it off to McCaffrey. Now they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. From the 29, Newton rolling to his left. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down. On 1st down, it's Newton. And the tight end Olsen, right side. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Draw play as Newton gives to McCaffrey. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 11 yards there, 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Ready. Mark 54. I got it.
On first and goal, they'll try the option left. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down. They'll try again on second and goal after going backwards to the 12. Here's Newton. And Olsen over the middle. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That was play number 7 on this drive, and it got him 7 yards. Now Newton on third and goal. His pass caught at the 4. A 4-yard pickup, not enough. Fourth down.
Completed pass brings up a fourth down situation. Do you play analytics on this one? Well, what do your analytics tell you about going for it here? I wonder what they would say.
They tell me you're down by this margin, fourth quarter, you're going. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability. Yeah,
you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Second down, a little more productive than first. 7 yards on the gain. It gets him to 3rd and 3 now. They go play action. Winston. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Finally, a good play there defensively on the deep ball. The secondary has had its struggles this entire game. Offensively, they've had their way with them.
Winston to throw for it on 4. Open man has got it. It's complete. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. From the 30 on second down. Winston. That is caught inside the 5. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They've got it 1st and goal in a game that appears to have already been decided. And now a jet sweep. This is Evans with it. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Now from the 7, here's 2nd and goal. On second down, Barber. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Things are rocking easy here in the fourth quarter. They've got to feel pretty good about this one. Actually, they've got to feel excellent. Tough loss in the opener. No way they wanted to go 0-2.
I don't want to read too much into it, but psychologically, is there something much bigger about 0-2 than 0-1?
Oh, without a doubt, and here's the biggest one. Guys like you and me, all the media, are going to talk about, well, you know how hard it is to make the playoffs when you start 0-2, and that starts to work its way through a team.
And now they're working towards 1-1. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. An incredibly short kick fielded way up there. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something? And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack. Levante David making his presence felt in the backfield. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Now here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. A big play there for Carolina. 53 yards. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week.
And he's going to be taken down back around the 35-yard line. Carl Nassib, his second sack of the night. After the sack on first down, Newton, a pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Throwing is Newton. He's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. And his kick is right there. It's good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. So this time the protection holds up for him just fine, and he's able to bang it through.
I think their special teams coach got the point across. He gave him a pretty good earful after the block earlier. And this time, there's no penetration, so they're able to pick up 3.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And 3 timeouts remaining here defensively, but really not much reason to use them at this point as this one is all but over.
If they use the timeouts here, it's strictly for show. We got a plane to catch.
Throw right side, taken in by Godwin. The Bucs forced to use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. They're looking to throw this. Winston. He'll take a shot for the end zone and give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues.
I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head.
But that's
the
about
virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game? And down he goes, a Buccaneer sack. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. A big offensive explosion help leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points, allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Tampa Bay, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week. Meanwhile, for Carolina, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Glendale to take on the Cardinals. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.